Today let us come to the last topic in the lesson. Okay, so in the earlier classes, individually we have seen the in detail study about each and every cell organelle. Okay, now let us see the last topic here. Are cells flat? Right. So what do you mean by are cells flat? So generally whenever we draw the figures, the cell or the organelles, what we are drawing the figures on the paper or on the board, they are called as two-dimensional figures. Okay, two-dimensional, 2D we call it as. So in the two dimensions, what is that we can know? We can see that only the length and breadth we can see. Okay, so here let us study about today what is the actually the third dimension. Whether the cells have got, are they really flat? Do they have any third dimension also? Then how to know the third dimension? Okay, so here all the organelles appear to be in one plane. So whenever we draw the figure, so we show that the organelles are present freely floating in the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, and they appear to be as in one plane. Okay, but actually it is not so in that way, right? In reality, what is that we have got? Three things are to be known. So one is the first dimension, we call it as the length. Second dimension, we call it as the breadth, and the third dimension, we call it as the thickness. Okay, but generally we don't see the thickness under the microscope, the thickness of the cell. Then how to know the thickness of the cell? Okay, length and breadth we can see that, but this is not clearly visible. Then what is the easy method? Few easy methods we have got, little bit small techniques we have to use to observe the third dimension, that is the thickness. Okay, so slightly change the focus while viewing the plant cells or animal cells or any cell. Okay, we need a little bit to change the focus. Okay, then next on the slide and look at the cell wall. So where is the cell wall? Already we know. So if this is the plant cell we are saying, so we need to concentrate on the outermost covering layer. So outermost covering layer of the plant cell is called as the cell wall. So if you try to focus exactly on the cell wall, then there is a possibility of easily seeing the third dimension, which is called as the thickness. Okay, so generally we can say the answer that cells are not flat. They have got three dimensions: length, breadth, and the thickness we have got. Okay, so in the 3D figure whenever we see, so there are some figures given in our textbook, like the plant cell, the structure of the plant cell, typical plant cell, 3D figure is given. Then we have drawn one figure, that is mitochondria, chloroplast. There are 3D figures we call it as. Okay, so the 3D figure becomes very clear. In 3D figure, three dimensions will be there: length, breadth, and thickness. In a 2D figure, we will have only length and breadth. Okay, so it becomes very clear. And for this, what we need to do is reduce the intensity of the light under the microscope. So there are some adjustments to be made. So whenever you are arranging the slide, so we need to make or keep in mind such a type of small adjustments. Then we can very clearly see the three dimensions. So with this, we can say that there are the cells are not flat. Okay. Now moving to the last and final topic in the lesson: where do cells come from? Okay. So we know that in this particular universe, in this particular world, the different type of the organisms, it can be the plants, it can be the animals, it can be the microscopic organisms, each and every living organism, okay, living being. Okay, what are they made up of? So if it is only say single cell organism, only one cell is present, or many of the organisms are there where number of cells are present. If you remember that, or recall the terms unicellular, single celled organisms, and one more, multicellular, based on the presence of the number of cells in an organism. So the scientists have told that there are two types of organisms: an organism which is made up of only one cell is called unicellular, an organism which is made up of more than two cells is called multicellular. So any type of organism you take it should be a living being. So they are definitely made up of cell or cells we call it as, right? Then related to these cells, who has done the experiments? So very first experiments we know that. So the cells, first time Robert Hooke. So in the beginning itself, in the 8th class you have studied. So very first person, almost 200 years before, okay, proposing a cell theory. So Robert Hooke, he observed the first type of the cells under the microscope. In those days, scientists used to invent their own microscopes, and they used to visualize, they used to see the different type of the things, and it was the credit, it goes to Robert Hooke, who has observed the cells. Okay, after the observation of the cells by Robert Hooke, there was a gap of nearly 2 centuries, 200 years gap. Then later came some facts about the organisms. So living organisms, what are they made up of? Okay, so here we one scientist is named as Schleiden, okay, another scientist is named as Schwann. So these two people worked together. Earlier, individual work was done, research was done by Schleiden. He was a botanist. Who is a botanist? A scientist who studies or who does research on plants, and study of plants is called botany. B-O-T-A-N-Y. Botany. Okay, study of plants is called as botany. Study of plants. Study of plants is called as botany, and the scientist is called as a botanist. Okay, so in your higher classes after 10th, okay, if you are opting for the BPC group, there biology is divided into two subjects. One is study of plants, that is botany, and one more we have got study of animals. Okay, what is the study of animals is called as zoology. Study of animals. Study of animals is called as zoology. Like this. So here zoologist Schwann was a zoologist who was doing exclusive research on animal cells, and Schleiden was a botanist who was doing research on the plant cells. So both happened to meet at one particular place during under one situation. Then because their topic was same, they were doing the research on the same topic, that is related to cells. Then onwards they started together working and proposed one most popular theory in the world. So what was that? It is the cell theory. So how are the living organisms made up of? How the cells, what type of structures they contain? All this was proposed by under a theory which was called as the cell theory. In which year? In the year 1838-39. So the two great scientists, botanist, who is the botanist Schleiden and a zoologist Schwann. So both proposed one theory which was popularly known as a cell theory. But unfortunately, there were a few points or there were a few doubts which were not cleared by Schleiden and Schwann. So one question arises here that where did the cells come from? So when the question was posed to these two scientists, they could not give the correct answer. Then came next one more person, one more popular scientist, who is that Rudolf Carl Virchow in the year 1855. Okay, he gave the correct answer. So how the new cells are coming, where from they are coming, how did they regenerate, how did they multiply? So it all comes because of his research there. So he said that the new cells are coming from the pre-existing cells. What do you mean by pre-existing cells? One cell is present, it undergoes division, it produces two new cells. So that is what? From one cell, two cells are produced. So that is what we call it as pre-existing cells. So this was a great statement given by Rudolf Virchow. Rudolf Carl Virchow. Okay, so shortly is called as Virchow. Right? In the year 1855, he says that new cells are arising from because of the division of the pre-existing cells. Already existing cells will divide to form the new daughter cells. Okay, and this statement was included. This line was included in the cell theory. Then gave a complete shape, a final shape to the cell theory, which was proposed by Schleiden and Schwann. So it's not all the credit goes to Schleiden and Schwann. So even one more third person is there, Virchow, who has given one important statement related to the arising of the new cells. And finally the cell theory. So we have got two important points given here. So what are they? Let us see that. All living organisms are composed of cells and the products of cells. So like this was the first statement under the cell theory. Every living organism, it is made up of, composed, or it is prepared of cells, and the different type of the products what the cells are producing. So an organism consists of cells and its products. Then next coming to all cells arise from pre-existing cells. That is, new cells are arising from the pre-existing cells. So this was the statement given by Rudolf Virchow. So like this, we have got the total two important concepts or points related to the cell theory. So this is what we call it as where do cells come from.